Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for coming back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Rose. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a full face using only affordable products. And a lot of these products are my favorite. I always go to them, I always gravitate towards them, and they are very good quality. So that's what we're going to do today. I hope the lighting is good. I took a picture to see how it will look and it did look good to me. I actually added my third light, which is an overhead light that goes kind of over my head, kind of. So let me know down below in the comment section if it looks a lot better. That way I know like if I have to tweak anything. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this video. We're going to start with brows. For brows, I'm going to be going in with my e.l.f. brow pencil. And this is in the shade Taupe. I was going to use my NYX one just because it does kind of mimic, it has a really thin brow pencil. This one doesn't. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is thicker than your average brow pencil. But that one was too warm for my brows, so we're just gonna go with this one and see how it works. So I just go ahead and start filling it in, mapping it out. It looks kind of off to me, but we'll make it work. So that's what we have so far, and that was like 2.5 seconds. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and clean it up, and I'm going to be using, should I? No. Okay, I'm going to go in and just use my Essence Eye Base to clean up underneath. And then for the top, we'll use the foundation. And I am using affordable brushes as well. So I have some Morphe, some e.l.f., some Real Techniques, so some Coastal Scents. So, you know, we're gonna keep this $100 affordable. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and prime the lids using the same Essence shadow base. I'm going to go ahead and apply this on the lids. And we're just dabbing this in. Alright you guys, so lids are primed, product is pressed in. I'm gonna go and use these two palettes. They're by Wet n Wild. It's the Rose in the Air and the Not a Basic Peach palette. These here. I think I'm gonna go in with the Not a Basic Peach first. What should that? I don't even know what kind of look I want to go for. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go in with the Not So Peach, and I'm going to just take this orangey shade right here. And we're going to use that as the transition. Tap off some excess. And then we're just going to pat the product where we want it. We are not going to blend out anything at first because you want to get the product exactly where you need it before blending it out. What I've learned over the years is when you just start blending out the first shade that you use, what happens is it gets blown out too much, so you end up having it way too high. It's going into your brows. So you want to keep the product exactly where you need it at first, and then what I like to do is I'll clean the brush. I use my little faux color switch thing. I don't even know where I got this one from, but yeah, just use that, clean off the brush, and then I go in and buff out those edges, and I go windshield wiper motion. I don't go in circular motions, because when you go in circular motions, if you're going this way, you're blowing the product out and up. And then if you go downwards, you're still blowing the product up, but it's like up and then down. So what I like to do is just kind of go back and forth between the empty brow bone and where that line ended from the product, and then just blend out that way. That way the product stays where it needs to be, but it's still blending out, if you know what I mean. Like that harsh line is getting blended out. So that's what I'm doing here. And as you see, it's blended out. You don't have that harsh line, but you still have that color there. And sometimes if you do like end up losing the color, it's okay. Go back in and then just dab again. Dab the product. Clean the brush because we still have that harsh line again now that we added more product. And then just blend. I think I'm gonna take this shade here, and I'm gonna put that into the crease. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a more so tapered brush. A more tapered brush, but still fluffy like this one. That way when I am putting the product, it still gets into the crease, and then I can still blow it out. And if you don't know where your crease is, it's literally your eye socket. So if you go with your pinky and you literally go like this, you can feel it, and that's where you want to put the brush at. So what I like to do is when I am putting product, I go, look down, and I pat literally right into that socket, and I just follow that shape. And this is when it comes in handy of having your mirror kind of tilted up so that you're looking down and you can still see what you're doing. So this shade here, it's a beautiful chocolate shade. I'm actually going to put that in the outer corner of the eyes and take a smaller brush here, and then we're going to add this to literally just the outer corner, and we're going to pat this. Okay, then obviously you go in, you clean that brush, and then you can go back in and blending in the same wiper motions, you guys. Because I don't want to bring that product up, I'm just slightly blending it into the crease a little bit, but just on the outer corners. and I'm gonna go in and cut my crease, but I'm only gonna do half, like literally just the first half. Alright, now I have like really wrinkly lids, so I have like a very slight hooded eye. So the way I go about this, usually there's a fold here that indicates where your crease is. So since I have wrinkly lids, I go where the top wrinkle is, so where that top line is, which is usually right above here, which is above my crease. So what I do is I just go, I have a mark there, and now I just kind of follow the line. Alright, so that is as far as I'm gonna go. So now with my eyes open, you see that cut crease, which is what you want. And then with my fingers, I just kind of blend in the product as well as blending it in with the brown shade that I had. And I go and I take in a little bit more just to deepen it up more and to further blend. Just as so. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this matte white creamy shade here, and I'm going to put that all on top of my base, and we're going to do like a pop of color look today. So I'm actually going to use that blue in the inner corner. So we're just tapping the product, patting it in. Alright, I'm gonna go back in with that brush that I had the brown shade and just blend the two shades together. Just like that. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do some swing liner on this eye, and then I'll do this eye off camera, and we'll finish the face because I don't want this video to be too long. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with my NYX matte liquid liner. This liner is so good. I used it for the first time yesterday and it was really good. Alright, so do the tail. And then bring it in. So for primer, I'm going to go ahead and use my NYX pore filler. That's what it looks like there. Ooh, I need to get some more. Running out. I'm going to apply this mainly in the center of the face. because that's where all the pores are with foundation. And I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, and this is in the shade Desert Beige. This is my tan shade, so not my tan but my summer shade, so I hope this comes out good. And I think I left my beauty blender upstairs, so before I even do this, let me go get my beauty blender. My Morphe beauty sponge, affordable, $7.99 I believe. So yeah, alright, let me go ahead and oh. Alright. And blend this out. This is one of my favorite drugstore foundations because it's full coverage and it's like I want to say like a demi matte. It's not like completely matte, but it's like a demi matte finish. And I also like that it doesn't really look like you have foundation on. It kind of just gives a clean coverage, you know. Alright, so for concealer I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and this one is in beige 25. I still think this one is a little too light. So I didn't like this concealer at first, but I learned to work with it, and I realized that with this concealer, that's way too low. I noticed that, like, when it comes to under the eyes, because I didn't really like it for under the eyes, and I did notice that I can only use it with certain products just because it is very drying. So with this foundation, it's not like too overpowering as far as the matteness, so this is fine for this. Like, the concealer is fine with this foundation. I noticed that I cannot use a mattifying primer or anything like that, so the pore filling one is cool. And I noticed that for under the eyes, to just put it here in the inner corner and then blend it outward, because when putting too much, it starts to crease and make my eyes look nasty. And I don't put too much powder either. I put literally the lightest amount of setting powder, because if I put too much, then I start looking really crazy. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. cream contour kit. This one, I don't even know which one that one is. I'm sure this one is like maybe the medium. I don't know. Just gonna take the two lightest ones, which are these two. Dab that excess on my palette, and then just dab this where I want it. So hollows of my cheeks are here, and then I bring it on this side. Sponge, and I'm just gonna go over those places with my sponge. Blend out any harsh lines that I may have created. So you see, nice blended, not too much product at all. Alright, you guys, so that's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly powder my entire face before I go in with bronzing and blush and all that stuff. So I'm just going to take a little bit of airspun powder on my Real Techniques powder brush and literally just dust this over. And this is me just lightly setting my face because, I mean, winter is picking up, so my skin is getting a little bit more oily than usual, but I still do have dry patches and stuff. So like this area right here, that little small mark is acne scarring, and it's also dry. That's why I didn't want to put too much product there either, because it starts to get cakey, and next thing you know, it's a lot more noticeable than just that. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. contouring kit, and I'm just going to use a more chiseling brush, and I'm going to take this shade here, and we're going to focus this on the hollows of the cheek. So right here, the temples, and then we can go and further bring that up and blending it upwards. Gonna highlight. Gonna use my Wet n Wild and Fergie highlight collaboration, and this one is in Hollywood Boulevard. This is like literally my favorite highlight from Wet n Wild. Another Wet n Wild product. This is their blush in Mellow Wine. This is what it looks like. We'll take a fluffy tulip brush, get some product on there, smile, and then we're just gonna put that on the apples of the cheeks and blending it with the highlight and the contour. Just as such. And then what I always do, because I always go overboard with the blush, I just go in with my sponge and pat over it. Further blend out that shade, that first shade we put. And I always bring it up into the wing, so it's a lot more seamless. And this will kind of act as our highlight. Now I want this to be very icy, so we're gonna go in with our highlight and then just add it on top of the blue. That way it can pop a little bit more, as you see here. NYX lip liner in London. And then I'm going to take my ColourPop and Makeup Shayla lipstick in Come On Sis.
The Gaga?
You have the Gaga?
Yes.
This is the final look here. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Join my family of Rosebuds. So yeah, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.